Hey French Honor Society kids, this is my how to make crepes in 3 easy steps video. Okay, there's not really 3 steps, but it sounds good. But there are kind of 3 essentials. Cooking wise, I've got a pan, I've got some cooking spray, I've got a spatula, and a ladle. And I'm going to turn my pan on. I keep it at the heat at about medium or lower. And what I'm going to do while I wait for the pan to warm up is tell you about some easy ways you can make awesome crepes. The first thing is kind of perfect how much batter you use with each crepe. That's really going to affect like how thin the crepe is, and that's kind of like how delicious the crepe is. The other thing is how hot your pan is and how long you cook it for. If you cook it too long, your crepe's going to be super crunchy. If you cook it too little, it's going to be kind of rubbery. And the other last thing is how you put the crepe on the pan. And that's kind of like the tricky part that, you know, when you first start, you have really funny shaped ones. And by the end of it, you'll get into a rhythm and you'll have pretty little crepes. For me personally, it's all about like, you know, how I pour it on, and I kind of like do this weird thing with my wrist, and I'll show you. But it's easy, I promise. This looks like it's getting hot, so I'm going to put on some cooking spray. I'm going to get my ladle ready. I usually use about like 2/3 full of this ladle. That's like works out the best for me. But you can kind of, you know, individualize it as you see fit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like try to swirl the pot with my hand while I pour it on. Slow, kind of like this. You kind of are like racing against the batter, so you want to spread the batter out as evenly as you can before it decides to stick to the pan and stop running around. I just personified batter. Yeah, I'll just ignore myself. If you have little holes like that, you can either like kind of touch them up with your ladle, or you can leave them alone and let them be little imperfect crepes, because imperfect crepes are awesome and they are just as delicious as perfectly round crepes, and people still buy them. Now what I'm looking for when you're cooking is you're either looking for, if you made a thicker one, little bubbles, or if you made a thin one like mine, you're looking for the edges to be kind of brown. My edges are starting to brown up, so I'm kind of running my spatula around the edges just to make sure I can kind of work a spatula underneath there. Once I can kind of get my spatula wiggled underneath there, I'm just going to pick it up and flip it. That's kind of the easiest way. If you're feeling more ambitious, you can even, and you use a good coating of spray, you can even kind of flip them. So, like this. Sometimes though, if you flip them, they end up like all folded like that, and you can just kind of straighten them out. But, you know, do it as you see fit. And then when they're done, it usually takes about 30 seconds on each side, depending on how hot your pan is, how much batter you used, how early you're flipping them, whatever, how brown you like them. This one is a little bit more brown than I usually like them, but to be quite honest, they're delicious no matter how you cook them. So once this is done, you just put it on a plate, let it cool, and just pop them in some Tupperware, and make sure you bring them to the Falcon Nest Friday morning. Thanks guys, and I hope this made it easier for you.